All right, so we're gonna go over how to install a kickstand on a bike today. We've got two main types, this being the more common one. Our kickstands come from a company called Greenfield. They come in a standard length. We can always adjust the length if we need for the bike. But right now, what we're gonna show is how to actually mount and dismount the kickstand from the bicycle. So if we look over here, this is gonna be what's called a center mounted kickstand. So it actually goes in this space right here in front of the back wheel. I'm gonna start by unscrewing my bolt. And you see how that just unthreads just like that. I'll take my top piece and I'll put it right into that little opening. So now my bracket's in place. I can see where it's gonna thread in. And it's really just that simple of feeding this onto there and starting to thread it. One thing I will mention, you'll notice on some bicycles that the rear shifter cable is down here. You wanna be careful not to pinch that cable as you get this going. So what I'm gonna do is get it to just start threading. And you can get it hand tight to start. And once it's to the point where you can't get it any tighter with your fingers, then we'll go ahead and grab the tool and finish it off. But there's usually quite a bit of threading on these. So there, see, I can't get it quite any tighter with my fingers. I'll go ahead and grab my wrench. It's always gonna be a 14mm for kickstands. And I'll go ahead and situate it on there. And don't be shy about getting that tight. And then finally, test out your kickstand. Make sure it's a good length. You want the bike to lean at a slight angle. You don't want it to be sitting almost perfectly upright. Also, you don't want the other end of the spectrum where the bike is leaning this far over to where the kickstand's not really doing anything. So real quick, I'm gonna take this off and then we're gonna install our other style, which is pretty similar in process. It just uses a different tool. Handy 14mm again. This will show you how to take it off. And again, just reverse process. I can loosen it with the tool. Once it's really loose, I can finish it off with my fingers until the threading comes right off. So that's getting the kickstand on and off with our standard Greenfield with a 14mm bolt. The only other kickstand that we typically carry will be something like this. Again, it's a Greenfield kickstand. It's just got a different mounting hardware. We will use this on bikes where this bolt doesn't quite reach. Sometimes you'll get kind of a taller stack length here. So you'll notice this one, the bolt will feed through that same hole, but it just goes way down in there. And now you can see underneath, I have a lot more space for threading. And then same deal, you can get it started with your hand. Once you get it going, this one is actually gonna be an 8mm Allen key, so I can go ahead and finish it off with that. Again, being mindful, just making sure I'm not pinching that shifter cable that's running underneath the frame. Get it nice and tight. Whenever I'm tightening these down, I always am mindful of having the kickstand in the up position, and I wanna get it parallel with this part of the frame. That's gonna give me a good baseline for knowing that I have it all lined up properly. And then I can go ahead and bring it down.
Nice.
And there we go.
Kickstand installed. Cool.